Welcome to Black Nouveau. This is our edition for January 13th, 2016. I'm Joanne Williams. The Bronzeville Arts Ensemble begins its residency at the Milwaukee Rep with a production of The Mojo and the Sayso. We'll have a preview. Could you live on $2 a day? Liddy Collins talks with one of the authors of a book that shows you how the extremely poor are trying to survive. And we'll profile African artist Fatoumata Diawara. Milwaukee holds its 32nd annual celebration of the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. this Sunday at the Marcus Center. As is our custom, we'd like to preview the festivities by presenting the winning speechwriter in the 11th and 12th grade categories. The theme this year, We Must Act Now.
The onward tongue, the outward hand, deform the normal rainy riot, sunshine shelter, wreck of darkness. Derogate, delimit, blank, explode, deprive, assassinate and batten up like bullets, fatten up the raving greed, reactivate a springtime. These are words June Jordan uses in her poem titled In Memoriam, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. These words are art. Art that lives, art that matters, art that teaches. We know, because it has been proven time and again, that the arts and education promote positive morals of peace, respect, and equality. The arts, in short, reflect the values Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. held so dear. In his speech made at the golden anniversary of the National Urban League, Dr. King stated, "We must act now. It is a trite yet urgently true observation that if America is to remain a first-class nation, it cannot have second-class citizens. Indeed, Milwaukee, we need to act now. We need to act to extend the involvement of young people in the productive, peaceful, soul-healing work of the arts. Let's reactivate a springtime of arts." This city has lost many opportunities for students to be educated through the arts, and we aren't sufficiently supporting the opportunities left, such as after-school programs and community organizations. We have certainly not treated our students in our public schools as first-class citizens worthy of that full opportunity to develop themselves artistically. We must act now to rebuild a wide array of artistic educational opportunities within the city and restore the programs that once received our attention, support, and funding. I propose that all MPS students need dance, visual art, music, theater, and creative writing teachers. Think about those values we want to develop in children. You want peaceful collaboration? Put on a play. You want a productive use of time? Organize a dance or music performance. You want soul-healing, focused, creative expression? Bring art or poetry classes to every young person. Peace, cooperation, focus, reflection. These are the very things developed in dance, visual art, music, theater, and creative writing classes. Yet what do we have? The current reality is that most students see only a traveling music teacher or traveling art teacher. Simply put, not enough resources have been supporting the arts. But what if every young person could experience a full range of the arts? Students and families can be encouraged to take advantage of those opportunities outside of the classroom, such as programs like African American Children's Theater, AACT, where I have worked as an education intern. As actors, we focus on living in the moment and being present. We learn discipline, collaboration, communication. At AACT, students learn how to take action on stage and action in the world. As a city, we must act now on these art education deficits to make the change we wish to see within our community. If we care enough, we can respond to the needs of all children. We can make a direct impact on Milwaukee's youth by rebuilding programs, expanding programs, and restoring the importance of arts education. I believe if all students were to have access of arts opportunities available in the city, our city will grow in peaceful and productive ways. Today's students and future generations in the community need us to act now. By doing so, we will promote Dr. King's vision and make a change. We must act now.
Abigail Thompson joins us now. That was a great essay.
Thank you.
How did you focus on the arts? Why did you choose that as We Must Act Now's subject?
Well, I've always had a really strong passion for the arts and education, and I think it's something that always needs improvement, and there's never enough that you can do to continue. And so I felt that that approach would be unique and different from what other essays might be about, and so it's something that is near to me and something that I feel we should all act now on.
It's near to you because you attend the High School of the Arts.
Yes, I do.
And are you in theater? Are you in dance? Are you in music? What's your specialty?
My major is theater there. I've been in some of the musicals there and all of the plays as well.
You've been in some other endeavors too.
Yes. I just completed Charlie Brown's Christmas at First Stage, and then also I was in A Christmas Carol last Christmas at Milwaukee Repertory Theater, as well as a few productions at African American Children's Theater. And
you're also involved with the Rep in, what should I say, in management, sort of?
Yes, I'm the president of their Teen Council Leadership Board. So we work on theater appreciation, volunteerism, as well as job and career readiness. So working on helping teens become exposed to theater in all aspects, not just acting, but behind the scenes as well.
Have you seen any difference in people that you know when they get involved in the arts? Have you seen kids change?
I do. I've seen them emotionally, especially be able to develop themselves as a person and learn so much more about themselves and be able to work through situations through different ways of the arts, as well as I think it helps kids improve in school academically when they have something to look forward to after school and during the school day. I think it keeps them going and motivates them and improves themselves.
Yeah, has it kept you going, motivated you?
Absolutely, yeah. I look forward to those 2 hours of theater every day.
So when you graduate in the spring of 2016, what's next?
Well, I will definitely be attending a four-year university. I haven't decided yet, but I've been accepted to 6 so far, and I'm waiting to hear from a few. And then I will make my decision based on scholarships and things like that.
So you're really pumped to do this too, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So We Must Act Now. Are you going to act now, or are you going to do something right now between now and the end of high school that will make a difference?
Yeah, I definitely want to work in theater, and I have a really strong passion for social justice, and I'll be taking some classes coming up at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee related to theater and social justice, and so I hope to work in the arts community more in Milwaukee and improve, and through the Rep Theater also we'll be leading some workshops, hopefully with kids, about social justice related to theater, and I really hope to make a difference that way.
Abigail Thompson, I think you will make a difference. Yeah. We'll keep an eye on you.
Thank you.
The 32nd Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration is Sunday, January 17th, 2016, at the Marcus Center for the Performing Arts. The program begins at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Eline Hall, and it's free, and it's open to the public.
Some families are doing a lot better. There's a nice story of families sort of working, and I didn't see that 20 years ago when I started, but then I go into these other homes where families don't just have not enough money. They have no cash income at all. There's nothing coming into the house.
This is Luke Shaefer, Associate Professor in Social Work and Public Policy and author, talking about the findings of co-author Catherine Eden. Eden wondered if her numbers surrounding families being extremely poor were a fluke or a trend. So Shaefer, who calls himself a data nerd, left his office, which he doesn't usually do, and joined Eden out in the field. They used a marker of $2 a day.
I think the initial results really stunned us both. The number of families reporting these cash incomes that are this low had gone from about 600,000 in 1996 to about 1.5 million with 3 million children in 2011.
The end results, a book on their findings entitled $2 a Day, Living on Almost Nothing in America.
And so we went to Chicago and Cleveland. We went to Johnson City, Tennessee, sort of in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, and down to the Mississippi Delta, which we knew had been deeply poor for a very long time. And we collected a sample of about 18 families.
Their sample families included people of color, white families, single mothers, and married families.
And our methodology was very simple. We just said, tell us about your lives and tell us about what your experiences have been. And what we would do is talk to families and look for the themes, sort of the things we saw across them. And one of the things we saw very clearly was this connection with work and this desire to work and this notion that when I am working, if I've got all this other stuff going on in my life, it was sort of it was like a quiet space. You know, my job at Walmart was a quiet space in a way. Jennifer Hernandez, I think in the few months that we were sort of tracking her job search before she got the Chicago City job, applied for 40, 60 jobs. I think she got up to near 100 jobs, like in the month that we met her. And she's going around sort of giving her, going down to, down to all of the commercial strips, just handing her resume out. But especially at the very bottom, there's, she lives in a homeless shelter. And she doesn't have a phone that works most of the time. The families we met, like Jennifer, they were workers and they thought of themselves as workers, but whether it be because of the volatile nature of the jobs they could get, or the circumstances that they found themselves living in, they would lose that job and things would sort of spiral out of control from there. We would ask Susan Brown, who, when we met her, was on the deep south side of Chicago applying for dozens of jobs on a little iPhone screen. So the one resource she had was her husband got her a refurbished iPhone for $30 when he had a job, and they kept the data so she could apply for jobs on this touch screen. No food in the house. Jessica Compton in Johnson City, Tennessee. Her husband Travis had been working at a fast food joint, and his hours, it was temporary and his hours are cut, and it's unclear if he still has a job, but he's not getting any hours. And the only cash they have coming into the house is from her selling her blood plasma, which she does twice a week. And as they walk over to the plasma center, she's always sort of petrified that her iron count isn't going to be high enough that she'll be allowed to donate, or her blood pressure is not going to be sort of in the right range. And so she has these sort of techniques of eating a high energy iron bar before she goes in and doing these breathing exercises. We learned a lot about the importance of dignity and how people, they want to be a part of society more than anything else, and that sort of takes blending in and letting people know that you're living in a family shelter, or letting people know you're going through an incredibly rough spot.
What do you want people to take away from reading this book?
Well, I think we hope that this book is a call to action. I don't think any one book can sort of change the course of policy, but it offers some things for them to think about, and I hope they do think about it in terms of what kind of country do they want to live in, and what should we be about here.
This book is about the very poorest families in the United States, telling their stories in an honest and respectful way.
I mean, the people that I met, the people who are in this book, are some of the hardest working people I've ever met.
Oh, I hate to touch it. It feels funny. Got an awful smell to it, too. Must be the paper they use nowadays to print these things. Payment for wrongful death. Big digits. Nah, we got lots of money. Lots of money for the life of our boy. How do they figure? How do they know? How do they add up what a 10-year-old boy's life is worth to his parents? Maybe they got a chart or something. Probably feed it into a computer. Bzzz. One scrawny brown working class boy enter, size 4 shoe, chance of becoming rich in his lifetime if he plays the lotto regularly. How many dollars? How many cents? Do they know about the time I found out I was pregnant with him? My absolute joy that God had sent me this baby. True, I already had Walter, but that was before you. But you loved us anyhow. And soon Linus was growing inside me because we were in love. Yes, we were always struggling and there was never enough money, but that's just the way life is. We knew we were supposed to have this baby. You took me to see your sisters, your brothers, your mothers, your fathers, all your sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, your whole tribe. You told them, this is my woman, and she gonna have my child. They all hugged and kissed me. Do they know about the way you'd lay your head on my stomach and listen? Did they figure in the way you'd hold my hand with tears in your eyes when I was in labor? When he was born? All the grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, friends all brought presents and ate and danced and sang. Do they know about those moments? Did they add them in here? But what about Linus himself? He could make me throw out all the mean, petty, selfish thoughts and give him the best person I could be. Remember when he was good. Remember when he was bad. Times he was like us, yet somebody brand new. And what about what he might have been? How do they figure? How do they know?
That was a sample of the Mojo and the Sayso, the Bronzeville Arts Ensemble's production that opens at the Milwaukee Rep on January 28th. Joining us is Malkia Stampley, the artistic producing director of the Bronzeville Arts Ensemble. You have a long title.
Yes.
Congratulations to that, though.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the show. I'm not at all familiar with this play.
Sure. It's The Mojo and the Sayso by Aisha Rahman, and we're taken to the Benjamin family in Jamaica, Queens. It's 3 years after the death of their 10-year-old son, who was killed by a white police officer. They have been offered a settlement check from the city, and this is an opportunity, and they're at a crossroads where they need to find their strength and their faith to move on. And so it's an exploration of how families pick up the pieces after tragedy has happened.
And pretty timely, too.
Very timely. The piece was written in the early 80s, and yet it is still a relevant piece of work today.
Which is sad to hear.
Very much so.
Tell us about the cast. Who else is in it besides Marvette?
The wonderful Marvette Knight, yes. We have Gavin Lawrence, who is from Minnesota. We have Isaiah Phillips, a Milwaukee native, recent Georgetown graduate. And we have Wigasi Brandt, who is new to Milwaukee as well. So a wonderful cast led by director Jessica Lanius out of Madison.
So why did you choose this as your premiere production?
It was a series of events, but Jessica, who leads Theater Leela, our collaborating theater, brought the piece to me. There was a call to action through American Theater Magazine in light of the events that happened in Ferguson. And they wanted to put forth this challenge to theaters to address what was happening in our country. And so she read this piece, and her and I were working on a piece together, and she asked me to read it, and she was really interested in doing it, and it was an aha moment. It was like, there's no other piece that's more important than this one that could address these issues that are happening in our country today.
And interesting that it was written 20 years ago.
Exactly.
And it's relevant in 2016.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Theater Leela. Who is that?
Yes, Theater Leela is an up-and-coming theater in Madison. They perform at the Overture Center, the big, beautiful space downtown on State Street. And Jessica is an emerging director. She has a lot of movement training, and we've worked together on a few projects. And so this is our first time collaborating, and hopefully the first of many.
Now, this is going to be your first show. It's going to be running in January, starting on January
28th we open, and we have a public preview January 27th.
How can people find out more about it?
Go to www.bronzevilleartsensemble.com, or you can give us a call at 414-290-5378. We have student matinees, wonderful group rates, and some other special events that you can learn about on our website.
Well, thanks for joining us on Black Nouveau.
Thank you for having me.
She's known as an actress and now as a singer, writing about education, adoption, and the hope of seeing a female elected president of her country. Fatoumata Diawara is an activist working for the freedom of women and doing it through music.
When I represent Africa, it's because I love Africa, likes to be African, because that's what I am. And at the same time, I talked about myself. That means to talk about African problems. That means women issues, children education, because I'm a woman, and I think that will be complementary of what the future generation wants.
In her country of Mali, singing and playing the guitar is reserved for men. Diawara shared how she broke that tradition and works to change things for women in her country.
It's not often to see someone playing and singing at the same time. Only men. Al-Farka did it. He was singing and playing at the same time. But women, no, you never. And I don't know why, but one time it was necessary for me because I fight. Since I was born, I'm fighting. I feel like 50 years old. I feel like old. I fight because I'm a woman born in Africa, which is very huge. It's very heavy to be a woman and to get your freedom, because it's a man, used to be men power, you know. We still have a men power in Africa.
Diawara said art chose her at a difficult time in her life.
I started to sing for my sister, who passed away very subtly. It was very fast. We were playing the day before, and in the morning at 10 o'clock, she said that she has a belly problem. I don't know what she ate. And she passed away at 9 years old.
She started missing school, and her refuge was music.
I became very turbulent. I didn't sleep on nights. I cry when I want. It was very psychology heavy moment for me. And we don't have a school, we don't have a hospital for psychology problem. Nobody can talk to you to accept what's happening. And your parents are also suffering. So music came to me on that time. So I refused to go at school.
At that time, education was hard for her, but if the teachers had looked closer, they would have seen her pain.
And she doesn't like people. Everything was understanding by wrong way. They didn't take a time to listen to my heart as a child. And Sonkolo is about that. Don't judge the children. Take time for them.
Music showed her the way, and then she decided to write. What is your style? Is it jazz, blues? What kind of style is it?
The style is open. Say Malian music with an open style. Jazz, rock, pop, open.
Fatoumata Diawara has been through some rough times, even with her parents. They wanted her to marry, but she wanted the arts. So she ran away and made it happen.
These decisions, most men decisions. But the women, wow, first time. And I didn't have example before. Then when I was going for this new life, I take off my old hair. It was boring again. So I didn't call my family for 5 years. Then I fight alone, get my money, and go back home, have my big house, everything. I don't need my family. Now I help my family.
A young woman doing it her way. She still acts, but she said music saved her life.
It's a good example for all Malian children. My story became more than my own family. It's more for my country.
And before we close tonight, a reminder that Milwaukee Public Television will present the 5th annual MLK Memorial Concert. It features the Bel Canto Chorus and the combined choirs of the Holy Redeemer Church of God in Christ. You can see it on Monday, January 18th at 9 p.m. on Channel 10. It's a Black Nouveau special you won't want to miss. And that's our program for this week. For Black Nouveau, I'm Joanne Williams. Thanks for watching.